I've been sitting here all day thinking about that last live I did, and there was something that I needed to say that I didn't say before, and it's been annoying me that I didn't say it because I feel like it needed more explanation. And I didn't, I basically just skimmed over it. So this will actually help people understand what's actually going on in the universe. It will help people understand the truth about aliens and stuff as well, how this all works for real, for real. Putting like religion and all that aside, like we're talking actual science. Everything I'm about to say has been scientifically proven now, but it's stuff I've been saying all my life. Um, there are two universes. We, when the Big Bang happened, um, and we all got pushed forward, right? We all became our planets and our beings and our this and that and that. The only thing we share with what you would call aliens is minerals, vitamins, and gas. Um, if it's on the periodic table, that's what we share with them because we all came from the Big Bang. We started out as bacteria. You have to remember that when Earth got warm and started drawing in the clouds, and the clouds started gathering water with the humidity and stuff like that, it created lightning that brought things from other planets to life on this earth that created everything that's living and breathing today, animal, mineral, and vegetable. We all came from the one spark of creation that we know as the Big Bang. But what started happening a couple of million years ago, let's just say around the time that we started figuring out if we pick up sticks and hit people with them, we have ultimate power if we can rule by force and fear. That started making us evolve, and history slowed down. We stopped becoming creative. It became more about efficiency and not about talent and imagination and architecture. You know, writers and musicians and artists and programmers and mathematicians and that, we're the architects of the universe. What we create changes people's lives in a way that gives you ultimate power over who they eventually become when they're older. And when you have that kind of influence over children as well, it's a bloody responsibility that God and our ancestors 100% expect us to get right, because our children are the next generation. And what they witness growing up in their homes and their society and their countries is what they're going to look for when they're older, which is the whole point with the EU and NATO and, you know, this whole WEF who UN bollocks. We're gonna tell you whether you're even allowed to have children or not. And people are like, oh, wow, you know, but it's like people don't realise these things you can do. You don't have to allow yourself to be hit by the stick. You don't have to pick up another stick to hit them back in order to win the argument. You know, and see, that's the difference between a chimpanzee and an orangutan. Orangutans are like the grandparents of the forest. They are the nurses. They are like the ape equivalent of a Sam Squanch, a Bigfoot, a Yeti. Their totemic value is identical. They even kind of look the same. That's why I reckon the Yetis and that might be like a part of the missing link. But anyway, so what started happening was the faster we evolved, the greedier we became, the more obsessed we became with power and having the same kind of minerals in that are on every other planet, pretty much. Like, you know, do you really need to go to wars in Iraq just so that you can steal their gold? There's gold everywhere. But it's like when we started getting empires and, you know, the Industrial Revolution and all that sort of thing, it changed everything. we were then able to rely on machines to take over for us. And that's when everything started going wrong, pretty much. That's when we were on a fast decline. We ended up with World War One, we ended up with World War Two, Korea, Vietnam, all of that. It's just been endless wars, and that's why we're devolving. That's why we are now starting to go backwards. Why planets are turning into gas, and all of that. Things are slowly starting to go backwards because we're not evolving, we're devolving. The ones who figured it out a long time ago were smart enough to get off their planets. We're supposed to be working on our space programs. We're supposed to be getting out of here and navigating, and then bringing what we learn back to Earth and using that to advance us in a way where either we don't have to leave the planet because we end up being able to. I don't want to I know that the Earth's axis is tilting anyway, but it might actually be possible to just move us slightly out of the way so that when everything slings back, we're not caught in it. But the only way we're going to figure that out is if we stop fighting each other, wanting to do bad things to our children, hurting animals, chopping trees down so that rich, fat, ugly people can have meetings. Like, we're allowing these people to ethnically cleanse the planet because some time ago chimpanzees decided to allow themselves to be hit by sticks. We originated from bacteria that came from other planets. This is why these bloody people keep thinking that we are reptilians and from, Orion's belt, and never can remember, is it Arcturians? It drives me up the wall. We are the aliens. We're just the aliens that forgot we belong to the stars. And when that lightning struck Earth, it created an electronic surge inside that bacteria that brought it to life, that turned it and split it into two cells that then created all living life on Earth. We became jellyfish, we became eels, we became like dolphins, we became all of it, and then we got legs and, walked out of the water to escape the things that were trying to eat us. And then at some point we went back into the water because the stuff on the land was scarier than the stuff in the water. But we split off, and some of us advanced and some of us didn't. And the people who are advancing aren't the people who are running the countries. They're not the people with the most money in the bank. The people who are advancing are the ones who are deciding, I need to get off this planet. And I don't mean that like in a cult, like, the aliens are coming down. Like, let's sort our shit out and actually get off this planet and see what's out there. Because I'm telling you now, I have access to it. I know what's out there. I can get us there. My space program, my space navigation system won't cost anywhere near as much as anything Elon Musk and NASA are doing, anything China and Russia are doing. Won't cost half as much. I said to King Charles, get rid of Starmer and let's build a spaceship. I want to call my spaceship Red Lou, after his mammy. But it's like, come on, let's do it. Because if we can get up there and show people what is actually truly out there, because they're not letting anyone else have a go. That's why they've got to try and make it all up. They've got to pull off Project Bluebeam somehow. They've been faking this stuff for the longest time. So it's because they're not allowed access to it, but I have access to it. Because you have to withstand the pressure of that kind of creativity in order to be able to access it. And I have access to it. So I know what's there. My physics, I'm a time theorist, I'm an evolutionary theorist. I have access to things in the universe that physicists won't even understand for like 10, 15, 20 years. I was almost murdered. I was tortured and starved because doctors didn't understand my physics. They were so dumb, they couldn't understand what I was saying and decided that it must be a mental illness when it's literally just physics. They looked at me with feathers in my hair, which is my Indigenous right to do so, and with my white skin and blue eyes, and heard me talking and thought, what the hell? Absolutely terrified them. So, they wanted to shut me up. But the thing is, I was curing people, I was healing people in there. It's because I understand how energy in the universe works. And in the universe, there's two of everything. There's two universes. The ones that figured it out and are advancing in ways that would make China jealous, and then the ones who are still hitting each other with sticks so that they can do bad things to other people's children, but never their own. And it oscillates. They're not side by side, they're merged as one. And depending on how we evolve, depending on what happens in the universe, depends on like an oscillation effect. And it's like when you turn a stereo up and down and it goes red and yellow and orange and green and all of that, and it oscillates, it'll be like, say, rows of them, and they'll all be at different levels. That is the ins and outs of both universes. They're merged as one. Think of two bubbles inside each other that are flat, that bounce up and down depending on how positive or negative we are. There's two of everything in the universe. Einstein said every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's the same thing in the universe. We have up and down. We have fast and slow, in and out, yes, no, happy, sad, angry, calm. There's two of everything. The universe has to be balanced in order to evolve, in order to advance at a steady pace, where they're not taking too many knocks and hits that push them back, push the energy back. And if it gets pushed back too strong, then it opens up tears in the fabric of the universe, and it creates black holes and sucks everything into it. And then you cute little nebula and all that have to quickly start pumping everything out to try and sew the tear back up. But it shrinks the universe when it does that, because obviously the bit that tore, it's left, it's taken a chunk out, so when it gets sewed back up, it's made everything a little bit wonky, kind of like my belly button. When my belly button rotted away, and from the constant vomiting, and it split the scars open, because the grey bits that rotted away, when my stomach healed again, my belly button healed again, my skin had to grow where there was no longer skin, so it pulled my belly button in, and now my belly button is only like teeny tiny. Like, I've got a really small belly button now, scars everywhere. So, but it's like that. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So you have start, middle, and end. You have boy, girl. Would it be trans? Boy, girl, trans? Well, I know it'd be heterosexual, gay, bi, boy, girl. Is it trans? But I mean like, for me, drag queens are the ultimate balance between the masculine and feminine. So I think drag queens, but they're not technically considered trans, are they? I'm not sure. I apologise if... I grew up with the LGBT community in Sydney, but I don't understand the modern definition, because for me, when I was growing up, a drag queen was a trans, and a trans was a man who dressed as a woman, right? So that's how I understand it. So that's equal and opposite reaction. Every action has an equal and an opposite. So, yes, so the equal to a woman is a man, the opposite to a woman and a man would be a drag queen, a trans, well, what I know them to be. So you have the equal and opposite would be start, middle, end, right? So we have negative frequency, positive frequency in the particles inside atoms, and they pulse, right? So they like that, and they start heading to the things that are just like them. When something positive meets a negative in the universe, if it's not balanced, it puts everyone off kilter. Everyone will start acting weird. You know how you'll have people saying, oh, Mercury retrograde, you talk funny and that sort of thing. It's because there's like a glitch in the system, and then the nebulas start pumping material out that like black holes have spit out, and you know, after comets and all of that have collided with each other, it gathers everything up to try and fill in the blanks, because the universe is conscious and understands that the only way we're going to get through this is if we're all equal and balanced and the same. So, for example, I am the perfect example of how it is possible to work for God and be totally comfortable walking around in the dark. I can access the dark side and it not affect me at all, because there are divine reasons why a person has to go to the dark side. And it can be from anything from saving a soul, like someone who's suicidal. In my career personally, in my blog, I've saved so many people from suicide. I also stopped 2 murder suicides and a possible attempted mass. I don't know if you would have called him like a potential serial killer, but he had a hit list. And I was able to help him. So I can go, and obviously, of course, being an occult physicist, I've had to deal with child sacrifices, animal sacrifices, voodoo stuff, which, the witch doctor, like I've seen it all. I've seen the worst of humanity on levels that the average everyday person couldn't even possibly imagine, and I'm comfortable with that. I rule death. I rule regeneration. I'm able to see things in a way that makes sense to people, which is why I'm able to pull them out of the dark side. I get them off their addictions, and I give them hope. I pull them out. I go down in and I pull them out. And that's having access to the dark side. Also, when I've had to clean up murder scenes or attempted, crime scenes, that sort of thing, that's going into the dark side. But using the light, using God to do it. Even God himself used to go down into heaven, and Satan goes down into hell, and Satan goes up to heaven. Prime example, good and evil, Satan, God. Everything has an equal and opposite. And it's in learning to have the balance between the two that keeps you sane and logical and at peace. And when we can finally be on the same page with each other and go into space the right way and actually have respect for what's up there, because whether you like to admit it or not, these people are our elders. I say people, these energies, these planets and that, they're our elders. We came from them. They gave birth to us. And we're running around thinking that they, spin around in spaceships and look like reptiles and do things to people's ovaries and suck them up into portals, and 7-foot giants with blonde hair. Like, it's so insulting. That's why they won't come anywhere near us, because we're still simians to them. They call us simians. We're still stick whacking monkeys. Sorry, apes. We're still stick whacking apes, and they won't give us access to any of that stuff out there until we start sorting ourselves out. And I, for one, want to get off this planet and see what's there. Now, I'm never going to go up in a spaceship. That's never going to happen. But I have the technology. I have the plans. They gave me the plans. I know what to do. I just need to find the right person to help me do it, to take what they've shown me and put it into designing my... It's not a rocket ship. I call it a navigation system. It's like the size of a car. And it's going to be able to travel up, travel all around the place and see what's out there. And then with my North Star cadets, and I have my observatory and all that, when I'm long and buried, the next generation will take over, and then hopefully they'll be the ones to actually get us past our solar system. Because they're not going to let Elon Musk or NASA do it. There's no way. They are hurting the universe. They are... I hate to... I'll tell you the term they used. It's quite crass, so I'm warning you now. Cover your ears after us. Cover your ears if you don't want to hear what I'm saying, but this is the exact words they used. All the space junk and the way that they use all that rocket fuel and all that fuel and all those flames and, the constant, the raping of the planet for lithium and all that sort of stuff. And then they just dump it because it never goes right. And all their satellites and all of that, they call it, get ready to box your ears in 3, 2, 1, sperm dumping. Imagine every bit of space junk and satellite and all that crap that's up there is a different man's sperm inside the womb of a virgin. Saint Philomena. Well, that's why they killed her, because she wouldn't allow herself to be that. And so they won't let them anywhere near it. But they do me because I'm 8th element. My ancestors earned the right. And my Egyptian ancestors, got a lot of things wrong. And they sent me to correct it. They understand they got a lot of things wrong, which is why Nikola Tesla had trouble trying to figure out the pyramids. He kind of was on the right track. People didn't even get the dendrolite anywhere near close. Yeah, so my ancestors sent me to correct the wrongs. The sun is a woman, the moon is a man. We have masculine energy, we have feminine energy, we all carry it inside of us because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And we have our actions as a masculine feminine and as a feminine masculine. If you're a man and you consider yourself manly, or even if you're just a biological male, right? If you ever have tender feelings for something, that's you embracing your feminine side. If you become protective of your children, believe it or not, that's you embracing your feminine side, but bringing your masculine side to do it, because women are strong, especially if you're Aries. Aries women, man, they're like, they're a force to be reckoned with. Because like Aries, they rule the military and structure and order, right? So an Aries woman, like a normal healthy one, like an Aries woman, they're all about organisation and timing and precision and everything being orderly and structured and everything running like clockwork. They would be the sort of person, an Aries woman would be the one that kept Big Ben going. They run their lives like keeping Big Ben going. It's very structured and ordered and, so that's a feminine Aries embracing her masculine side, protecting her children, or it's a masculine Aries being motherly, because the motherly instinct is protect my kids. And Aries men and women are actually quite motherly. One thing that people don't understand about Aries is that I always say next to a Scorpio, they feel the deepest. When an Aries hurts, they feel it to like it burns them to their soul. Seeing an Aries heartbroken is devastating because it's like they when they express their feelings and that it's done with such raw emotion, because fire, purity, raw, right? That it's like I can't explain it. It's humbling, especially when those affections and that have been centered at you. It's very humbling. And that's one thing that people don't understand about Aries is that when they feel, man, you feel it to the core of your soul. Um, so, and the reason why I keep talking about star signs and that is that you have to understand our solar system is made up of constellations. And I don't do horoscopes, but as you know, as someone who dabbles in astrophysics, and a part of that is astronomy. Like you have to understand the constellation in that, and it does matter because it's all based on um, the your biometric frequency. It's like me tapping into my constellation is the equivalent of plugging myself into the wall socket when I need to charge my phone. It makes you who you are. It allows you to be who you need to be. But understanding the constellations helps you understand the universe. And I want to traverse the constellations. I want to get my navigation system up to my star in the Cepheus constellation, the Star of Brihenus. I actually have a real star that I named the Star of Brihenus in the Cepheus constellation, and my girl Amber that I just lost, her star is the Amber Diamond in the Cygnus constellation right under mine. All this stuff really does matter. And the only way that we are ever going to better ourselves as a species is if we put the sticks down and learn how to fly. I believe I can fly. Soar. Well, technically, no, because like my my space navigation system doesn't use anything combustible. Nothing can explode. It's all I'm a nerd, all like recycled materials, and you can move the base around, and it's like the size of probably not even the size of a Yaris, what I've designed, if I've done it right. And then we can actually see what's up there because they won't let me fail because I'm trying to help people evolve. I'm helping people with the start of their rapture. I've opened a hole in the clouds and the light is shining down. Oh, this is the way we've got to go. This is the way. We've got to go up. So that's what I'm doing. Like Archangel Gabriel. Blow my trumpet. Come on. It's time for the rapture. So, yeah. And the rapture is just a mass awakening of consciousness. People finally getting it and putting the sticks down and saying, yep, come on, let's do this. Let's get rid of our governments. Let's impeach Keir Starmer. Let's get rid of Zelensky, von der Leyen, Trump, Musk. Let's get rid of a lot of them because they're not doing us any good in any way, shape or form. But unlike them, we can do it without using sticks. And all it requires is for everybody to be on the same page. We're not tolerating this anymore. We're killing the planet, and if we don't get off it, we're going down with it. Because we're surrounded by, I hate saying that word, but it's the word they use, sperm dumpers. It's repulsive. You look at Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Keir Starmer and that, like knowing their history, Zelensky and all that, like you get it. Bill Gates, sperm dumpers. It's like you can't look at them the same way. It's repulsive. Mine. I own it. That, like when a man impregnates a woman, that's my woman. She's the one I've chosen to have my baby. She's going to carry my seed. Mine. And that's what they're doing. Taking over mine. They're pretty much just jerking off on everyone, and it's floating off out into the universe. And the Council of Elders and our ancestors and God and that are like, nah, no. So they're not allowed, but I'm allowed. And I'm really, really hoping if I can wake King Charles up, because I know he's into sci-fi stuff as well. I swear to God, he'd love my radio station. I think he'd love my sci-fi stories that we put out over the radio. Be like from the 50s and 60s and that. I think he'd love my sci-fi stories and that. But if we can wake him up and he gets rid of Parliament and we start again, I could take Great Britain into a whole new direction that would put every other country that was trying to get into space to shame, because we wouldn't cost as much and we wouldn't be hurting the planet to do it. In fact, we'd actually be helping. And eventually I want to use my gaming chair, which I've renamed Mina, the Modulated Entertainment Network archetype, because it actually suits it better for what it is. People who are terminally ill will be able to use my chair to experience meeting God, going above Earth's atmosphere and meeting God, so that they can make their peace with God before they die. And then I'll be able to sit and talk to them and explain everything that's happening to them and stuff. I've already talked to my sister about it, because we decided she's a palliative care nurse, you see, and what she doesn't know about people who are terminally ill isn't worth knowing. And I said to her, would we need to have nurses and stuff? And she said yes. So I'd have like teams of nurses and that, because I do imagine that some people, when they went up there to meet God, they wouldn't come back alive. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. In which case, I think that'd be really beautiful. I think that's way nicer than euthanizing people. Let them actually meet God, and then they can make peace with it before they die. That's a way nicer to do it. A way nicer way to do it than euthanasia. Literally meet your maker before you die. And the universe is our maker, because the universe is atom. All things atomic is God. So I just wanted to explain that, because basically what it means is we need to figure ourselves out. We have healthy balances in our life where we're not around people who hurt us all the time, or play games, or lie or cheat or steal or disloyal, or and we keep going back, we keep going back, we keep going back. That's my sister's trouble, because we're in the process of healing from a lot of childhood trauma. Since we lost our niece Amber, she kind of threw us into some childhood healing there. So, but my sister keeps going back to the people that are using her like a pinata. So I'm trying to get her to toughen up. But as far as I know, she's been good. So yeah, being around the people who bring you peace, the ones where even if you're not related, or even if you are related, when you go there, they feel like home. The people that care about you feel like home. Whether you've only known them 5 minutes or not, people say to me all the time, I feel like I've known you my whole life. So it's because they're at peace with me. I bring them peace. People come to my flat and most of them just, I've got to be honest, people come to my flat and I swear to God, they sleep for about 18 hours. Everyone who comes there just sleeps for like 18 hours, and then when they're awake, they're just like fed a ton of food, and then they just sleep for another 18 hours. People say to me, God, all I did was sleep and eat. I'm like, well, isn't that mum? That's what a mum is. So, yeah, that's what it is. That's what I said. If I ran for Prime Minister, I'd be Prime Minister. I'm mum to everyone. I finally figured out how to be a good one because I had two incredible sons who chose me to be my teachers. From losing weight and, getting off the sugar and getting off the medications and getting healthy again, and that, they were like my, in Rocky, when he goes up the stairs and he's punching in there and he's like jumping around, and he's got that manager with that has like the little hat and everything. I can't remember his name. Is it not? It's not Red Buttons, eh? I want to say it was not Red Buttons, eh? That played his Rocky's manager. Yeah, that was my boys. When I couldn't get up the hill, come on, Mum, you can do it. We're really proud of you. Just a few more steps. Although, little did I know, the reason why I thought I was having a heart attack is because my ex-husband was trying to poison me and forcing me to go on my sons and I later on called them my death marches. He used to, because he plied me with drugs, right, and then used to force me to go on these grueling walks. And I was struggling to breathe, but I couldn't understand why, because I knew I wasn't unfit by that point. I've even got videos of me complaining about how hard he was pushing me. And it turns out it's because we're pretty convinced he was trying to induce a heart attack. Like, seriously, he's tried to kill me quite a few times. Trigger a heart attack, or like where it would look. I had said to the police in there, I want to find out whether he took out life insurance policies on me, him and Martin. I want to know if they took out life insurance policies on me and they tried to make it look like an accidental overdose because I was prescribed those medications, or although they probably would they not have to take proof of the doctor that I was, because I haven't been on medication since 2016. So I don't know why he was trying to put opioids in that, in the weed, because I hadn't been prescribed drugs from the doctor since 2016. When he stabbed me in the shoulder with that heroin needle, and I had to have the surgery, like after it popped out, I had to have emergency surgery. They couldn't even give me antibiotics. I couldn't have pain relief and I couldn't have antibiotics because I'm allergic to everything. So I don't know why he would try to do that, but I would like to see whether he got life insurance policies out on me, because our marriage license went missing. I couldn't find our marriage license anywhere. After I got locked out, he went into my room and took some of my possessions out of my room, which is technically burglary. And they were like the boys' passports and our marriage license. And the only reason why he would need our marriage license, is if he was marrying someone else and had to prove that we were divorced, or he was taking out a life insurance policy claiming to still be my husband. Because a lot of my stuff is still under his name. I can't stand this, because my passport is black and I'm Callahan. Like, we haven't been married since 2017, is it? But I never had the money to change my name on the passport. I don't have access to a printer to print the forms off. So I've had to keep my passport black, under black. And so, like, my rent and everything is all under his name, and I hate that. I want to just get him off me. But I can only do that with changing my passport. But I did end up applying for a new marriage license. But yeah, our marriage license went missing, and so I want to know whether he took out life insurance policies on me. because he was definitely trying to give me a heart attack. I don't know whether you can take out life insurance policy if it's a accidental drug overdose. I know you can't usually with suicide. See, I'm able to go down into the dark areas of thinking quite quickly, eh? That's because I have found the perfect balance between light and dark. I was put through hell, and see, that's the thing. The two universes, we can have hell on earth or heaven on earth. We're the ones that decide what we're doing with it, and at the moment we're hell on earth. And so we've got the oscillating universes inside each other trying to decide the fates of everything inside those two bubbles. And we're dicking about by hitting each other with sticks so that we can do bad things to other people's children. So I'm the thinker, I'm the problem solver, I'm the one who has access to reach out to the people who are ready to wake up and do something about fixing themselves, fixing their lives, and fixing the planet. And then when we do that, we'll be up there. But we'll be able to keep coming back all the time because by that point, or we're happy to just leave her to evolve by herself. And then you never know. In 2,000 years' time, cows and chickens might end up being the next lawyers and judges and emperors and stuff. You never know. But we don't leave them alone long enough to find out. We've got to start leaving our oceans alone. The whales and sharks and fish and that, we've got to start leaving them alone. We've got to get rid of these bloody windmills and solar panels because it's making them go wonky. They can't. It's messing with their sonar and all that. So, yeah. So I'm hoping I can wake King Charles up because if he loves the planet, now's the time to prove it by stepping into the light. So I'm giving people the opportunity to step into the light. And it's the light of inspiration, the light of creation. What you need to understand until you are chosen to have an ascension, none of this is actually to do with a God or a Jesus or a this or a that. It's all to do with personal growth because we recycle and we have to deal with karma and dharma. See, equal and opposite. You have karma and you have dharma. The universe rewards you, and the universe punishes you. Or the middle, universe leaves you alone, and life's actually not that bad, sort of thing. But we're the deciders of our fate. We're the ones that choose what happens next. Once we've made that choice or decision, that's when time becomes linear. And then it's sewn into the fabric of the timeline like a tapestry, the tapestry of the universe. That's the only way that time becomes linear. We're here for the learning experience. If you're living now, there's things you didn't get right in your last life. There's things that you didn't get right in your childhood. There's things that, like having that conversation with that wisdom of mine this morning. We choose our lives. We choose our parents. We choose our parents and who we have children to. And if we have parents that are like the ones that we had, we chose them, but we chose them because as ascending souls, we're here for the learning experience, right? So the meaning of life, this is like the age-old question, what is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to find the meaning in your life. And once you figure that out and you get to the point where you can die without any regrets, that's when you cross over, they let you decide what you want to be. Some people just want to stay back and bugger that, I'm not going back down again. But the most selfless souls are the ones who martyr themselves for the cause of the learning of the human experience. The babies and kids that get sacrificed, the ones that die tragically, the ones that die mysteriously, that sort of thing. If they're here for a short time, or they've had like a brutal time on earth, or their time on earth left an impact on people. That's why they were there. They're the highest evolved beings that we will ever know on earth while we are the way we are. They are like the angels. They come down, the earth angels. They come down and they leave an impact that lasts forever because they're there to teach us a lesson of how we should never have been allowed to let our we should never have gotten our civilization to the point where our children are dying. Short of having accidents, we should not be losing children. We still haven't figured that out, which is where we started going wrong in the Victorian era, sending them off to the factories and the workhouses, and we messed up real bad in the Victorian era. I really think that's why Queen Victoria had to have a wee pip with her moko, because, yeah, she got a lot of things wrong. She got a lot of things right, but she got a lot of things wrong. And one of the reasons why we're here as well is when you're chosen to ascend, especially, it's with the understanding that you're here to pay off ancestral debt as well. So if these things your ancestors got wrong, your hard life and the struggles that you have is more than likely because you've been the one chosen. You've offered yourself to be the one to pay off all that karmic debt for your ancestors, so that by the time you ascend, you become like the master or the guru or the one who's exalted or anointed or looked up to or respected and blah blah blah. And then it's you've worked off your ancestors' debt. So there's a lot to think about there. I know it's probably a bit deep. People be like, what? But I'm a time theorist. It's my physics. It's what I do. It's because if you understand it, then you're on the path to healing. If you understand what I'm saying, you're on the path to healing. And I guarantee you, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning feeling like a completely different person, like you're going to feel the change. So just don't be afraid and understand that ascensions are really painful, but it's necessary. But I'm an ascended master now, so I'll talk you all through it with my little radio shows and my little lives and all of that. So just, yeah, I had to make that video because I had to elaborate on what I was saying about the two universes. You have our solar system with our planets and stuff in it. You've got black holes, you've got wormholes, you've got dark matter. Dark matter are the parts of the new universe that we're not allowed to see. It's a part of the bubble of the new universe that we're not allowed to see because we haven't evolved yet. We see only darkness because that's where we reside. You reflect what you see. And so when you see darkness in the universe, we're not allowed to see what's there because we haven't evolved enough to earn the right to see it. I see it, I know what's there, which is why I built my space navigation system that I want to call Red Lil and have my North Star cadets and get kids coming and working on getting us into space and having a look around, and yeah, one step at a time. But anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there. I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea. I haven't had a cup of tea in such a long time. And let's hope and pray that King Charles wakes up. I keep praying, I keep praying, I keep praying, I keep praying. I'd tell you I'm probably the only person that's brave enough to yell at that man, but he's a Scorpio rat, so I know him. I am him. My twin is Taurus, so his twin is Taurus, so I understand him. It's just I need to wake him up so that he realises that he's around people that are hitting him with the sticks. So anyway, so I'm going to go. I shall speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.